So the first thing I want to say is stop shooting and moving at the same time. The reason why I say that is because in most other first person shooters or just shooting games in general, you can shoot and move at the same time, and they all encourage that. The bloom and the recoil on the guns in these other games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Apex Legends are very, very low. And Valorant is not like that. It's a tactical shooter. You move around and it will mess up your crosshair. Your bullets will be flying left to right. It's a very tough thing to learn, but you must stop moving and shooting at the same time if you want to be consistent. Now, are there other instances where you can move and shoot? Yes. Certain guns, yes, but those are very small exceptions. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you don't want to be moving and shooting your actual bullet at the same time. You want to make sure you're standing still when you're shooting your bullet and your crosshair has reset itself. Telling my friends how to do this all the time. I'm always reminding them, you have to stop moving and shooting. I know it's a hard thing to do. The next thing I want to say is changing the map size. Now, normally this is typically what your map is going to look like, right? Okay, so you look at my map in the top left corner. Look at it, if I'm on A site, I can't really see what's happening on B site, right? And generally, when you're going to be playing this game, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to be using their microphones. A lot of people aren't going to be talking. So this is one thing I recommend to anybody who's playing right now is to change your map size. So you can go to your settings. I want you to go here, go into here, go down to your map size. I go to change my map size to 1.2, but then I change it down to 0.6. And look at this. Look at how much of my map I can see now. The reason why I do that is because look at what information that I can get. So now when I'm looking at my map, I can already see B. I can pretty much see the majority of B. And so if anything's going on over there, I can see that. That's very powerful, right? So typically what you're gonna wanna do is whenever there's a kill or anything that happens on the kill feed in the top right hand corner, you want to make sure that you're in a safe area and you want to glance at that kill feed and take a look at your mini map and see what's going on. You want to see if you see X's on the map, if you see question marks on the map. You might even see people's icons on the map to show that your teammates have seen an enemy or anything like that. That's very, very powerful, especially if you're not talking to your teammates. I definitely think that this is something that everybody should do. Yes, you may not be able to see all the nooks and crannies of the sites that you are currently looking at, and you might want to see a little bit more of the detail on your map, but just in general, you don't need to see every little nook and cranny. You just need to know that somebody has the ability of being there. That's all you really want to know, is where are people, and this is going to be able to pretty much show you the full map. So if people are not talking to you, you can still glance at the map and get information. So then that way you can play the way you want to play. You can do the things that you need to do. This is something that I tell my friends that I'm showing how to play the game, and I have to remind myself all the time actually, is to respect Valorant. And what I mean by that is respect Valorant as in, when you're playing Valorant, you can't play it like any other game that you've ever played, okay? And you need to understand that this is not Call of Duty, it's not Fortnite. This game has weapons, has guns in this game that have a one-shot kill to the head. That's a very, very powerful thing. And these aren't guns that are like sniper rifles like in these other games. Snipers tend to be those weapons that can one-shot kill, but they're slow, hard to get, whatever the case may be. But in Valorant, this can be a gun that's very easily attainable, and depending on what type of round you're having, it could be even almost a handgun. So you definitely want to make sure you're respecting Valorant, meaning you need to make sure you're protecting your head at all times. Know how many angles you're being exposed at, know where your enemies are, how to pick angles. You want to make sure when you're going into open spaces, you have cover that you can get behind, because you want to make sure you're protecting your head at all times, because all it takes is for one bullet from anywhere on the map, from certain ARs, and you will instantly die like that. And I know a lot of people are trying the game and they're new because it's free and it's a new game that's out. So they may not, want to learn and understand that aspect, but this is something you have to respect. If Fortnite, Apex, or Call of Duty had an AR that could kill with one shot to the head, all these games would dramatically play different. They will be a lot less aggressive. Everything would just be different, but Valorant has that, so you have to respect it. Always make sure when you're playing, you respect Valorant. It's not as forgiving as other shooters, so you want to make sure you're playing smart, you're protecting yourself, protecting your head, and you want to make sure you understand that you can be killed with one bullet at any time in Valorant, anywhere. So you just want to make sure you always have that in your mind to play with that type of caution. Number 4, I would say, is play Valorant as your exclusive shooter. If you really want to try to give Valorant a good shot of trying to get better at it and seeing what it truly has to offer, I just recommend it being your primary shooting game that you're going to be playing. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to want to unlearn some of the habits and the bad habits that you have from other shooting games, and you want to learn how to play Valorant correctly, where it goes to your crosshair placements, where it goes to your game sense, listening to your audio, communicating with teammates, looking at your mini-map often. There's a lot of different things that you're going to have to kind of get into that you may not have to do with other shooters. So I would definitely recommend you playing it exclusively so you can get more reps in, and it's just going to give you more of a better feel of the game. Now, if you're going from playing Call of Duty an hour before and then you switch to Valorant, I really don't think it's going to be a smooth transition. Obviously, for some people, you can just transition, you're good at everything, great at everything, and that's fine. But there's some people who can't do that, where you play a game that's very aggressive, very fast-paced, like Fortnite or something, or Apex Legends, and you want to go to something that's a lot slower, like Valorant. Sometimes it can't mix well, and you may have to change, how often you're playing your other games, or playing Valorant on certain exclusive nights where this is the only type of shooter that you're going to play that particular night, or play Valorant before you play the other shooters. I just don't recommend you playing other shooters and coming into Valorant, because I feel like it's going to your bad habits from those other games are going to kind of like trickle into your Valorant, and you kind of want to give Valorant its own time, its own personal intimate time, to where you can kind of zone in and do the Valorant things that you need to do to be good at it. Next thing, get 3D audio headsets and make sure you calibrate them to your system, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation. Just get you a really good pair of headphones. I think it's very, very valuable to be able to hear good fluid sounds in the 3D audio. I think it's very powerful for Valorant, because you're going to get information of where the enemy is, and you may already have them for your other shooters if you're playing other shooters, and you may not. You may not feel like it's necessary, or you may just use your TV or your soundbar's audio when you're playing something like Call of Duty or something. And Fortnite, you have a visual audio on the screen, so you don't even really have to even have the music or the sound on anyway. And I think that getting a really good pair of headphones can definitely provide you with a lot more information and help you out when you're out and you're playing Valorant. I think it's going to provide you with more information than listening to things on a TV, because it'll tell you exactly where people are coming from, or where these footsteps are coming from, or you'll at least be able to hear it while you have the headphones on, and you'll be able to get your crosshair ready, or get your utility ready to attack the enemy and get ready for these gunfights. This is something that I know is not gameplay related, but it does tie into everything. And Valorant's kind of like a full package of everything. Because there's a lot of times where some of my teammates may ask me, how did I know somebody was there? How did I hear them? All these different kind of cases. And as you play these games, and where sounds are a very, very intricate part of the actual gameplay, like something like Valorant sound is, you really want to get headphones that have really crisp sound, and you want to make sure that the 3D audio is calibrated and actually the volume is up on them. And PlayStation has its way that you can calibrate the 3D audio. You can also do it inside Valorant as well. For Xbox, I'm sure they have a way for you to calibrate the 3D audio as well. So I would definitely recommend doing something like that. It'll definitely help you in all your other shooters, as well, if you don't already have a 3D audio headset. But this is something I would definitely recommend for Valorant, and it'll definitely help out. These are 5 quick tips I just wanted to bring up, because I've been looking at, subreddits and Twitter pages and Twitter posts, and watching a lot of people comment on Valorant and console, and seeing what people's experiences are. And a lot of people are talking about how it's a game to kind of get used to, with the shooting and the moving and shooting and things like that. So this is something that kind of wanted me to kind of just give my opinion on what I think you can practice on these things, whether they are actually in-game things or out-of-game things. I think that can help people have a better experience with Valorant and can push you in a more positive direction on learning the game and understanding the game and how to get better at the game. Some of these principles can apply to other games as well, and you can definitely use some of these techniques or these tips. And these are very basic tips, but with a game like Valorant, these things are more important. If you got any value out of this, I hope you did. But if you got any value out of this, man, I hope you got some value out of this video. I hope there was at least one thing that could have helped you. If it did, that's great. That's fantastic. That's all I wanted to do. If not, I'm sorry, you know, if you watched this video, but you know, these are just some of the things that I thought. You know, this is not a video for the experienced Valorant players. This is just a very beginner friendly thing just to tell people who may be interested in trying this free game that they've heard about. Yeah, so if you like the video, man, please drop a like on it, drop a comment, let me know some of the questions that you have about Valorant, and I'll try to answer some of the questions in the comments, and I'll try to give as many tips as I can on things that I do when I'm playing Valorant. So, you know, just let me know, and drop a subscribe, man, if you want some more gaming content, some more Valorant content coming. So I'll see you in the next one.